What is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? Astro Phoenix here, flying into the moment yet again, and radiating love as always. And this is going to be your vibrational check-in for today, May 6th of 2021. We got the card of magic today. The card of magic. The frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move forward to possibilities and expressions that are grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. Magic, the power of magic. You know what? They are trying to extract magic from this world. They're trying to, just like in Fairy Tale, there was an arc in the anime Fairy Tale where the magic in their world was being extracted from another place. It was like a parallel reality. And that parallel reality, the characters in that parallel reality couldn't just manifest magic on their own. They had magical tools. But in, the world where the show actually takes place, they're able to use magic and they're able to do all these awesome, cool things. They are trying to extract this magic from our world and from this reality. And what better way than a little conspiratorial here? COVID is actually kind of a huge part of that, actually. Using that to extract the magic from this world. To extract any hope and to extract any, I guess you could say, bravery or courage from this world as well. But this card of magic is really very synchronistic, considering the fact that we do have Jupiter moving into Pisces. If it hasn't already happened, it's going to happen either today or tomorrow. It's happening very, very soon. So Jupiter in Pisces is really going to kickstart this whole, remembrance, if you will, of the fact that we are all magical, super powerful beings. And magic, a lot of times we like to think of magic as like a magic trick or something that is like super, like something that you might read like in a book or something that you see in a TV show. But you gotta understand, like I could point out, it's magic what I'm doing right now. Now this is like a magical tool, but it's magic right now. If you were to take this phone back just 50 or 100 years, even 200, 300 years, that they would think that this is magic and they probably would burn me at the stake. So, you know what I mean? So like, you gotta understand, like, what we consider to be magical at one point becomes day-to-day reality. So a lot of the things that we will consider magic right now, like flying or levitating or telekinesis, these different superpowers that we are all developing. Phones, for one, is a way to develop telepathic communication. It's actually a magical training tool to develop telepathic communication. And then I guess you could say these videos are a way to practice projecting our image into a particular space. So, very powerful times indeed, because these are, like I said, very much so magical training tools. But ultimately, beloved, you are the pinnacle technology in this world. You have the technology within you to do all these amazing things. It's just that a lot of this magic is untapped. And the reason why it's untapped is because we have been tricked and fooled into believing that we are mere human. And while we are human, we are also upgrading. That's really what moving into this new age is all about. And while I personally believe that the new age won't come into the 2100s, and a great deal of us won't be alive then, maybe our children's or our children's children will be alive then, we are laying the groundwork for that. I always say this funny thing where it's like, it won't be us that are flying, but it'll be our kids that'll be flying. So they'll be taking like like how we took our first steps, our kids will be taking their first flights. Like, and that's just how it's gonna be, Well, especially when Pluto hits Aries, guys. Especially when Pluto hits Aries. Come on now. A lot of the technology that we have right now, at one point we considered to be magic. At one point we considered it to be something out of a fantasy, and it is here. Similarly, we're going to unlock technology, especially with Uranus and Taurus, and especially when the North Node and Uranus conjunct in Taurus. we are going to come across things just even 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now that we're going to consider something that we would have seen out of a freaking fantasy book. We're talking like beyond our wildest dreams, beyond our wildest imaginations. And the fact remains is that a lot of that technology is actually made right now. It's just not available to the public. That's the thing about it. There are time portals. There's ways to travel in time. There are, spatial portals where you're able to like literally just jump into different locations. There are people that can fly, that can teleport, that can do all of these different things. This just is kept on the hush hush, or they may be meditating on a mountain somewhere. Some of you guys are actually time travelers, There's a lot of stuff that's going on here. This world is far more magical than what we have been told. And what's weird about it too is that since we're in the age of Pisces, you would think that this world would be a lot more magical than it is right now. You would think that we would, be used to and accustomed to seeing giants and fairies and mermaids and elves and golems and giants and all of these different things. But for some reason, for the age of Pisces, instead of revealing all this stuff, they kept it on the hush hush. Age of Aquarius about to bring all that out, baby. So, if you yourself feel like you are a super magical mermaid being or a super magical fairy, or if you feel like you might be a unicorn, if you identify with that, then most likely you are. It may sound a bit crazy, whatever like that. I don't know if you have to go and change your pronouns or anything like that, but I'm not taking a jab at anyone that uses different pronouns and stuff. I'm just saying, I'm honestly not quite I'm a little ignorant when it comes to that particular thing, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about the fact that you are super magical and that you can manifest anything that you really want to. You really can. It's just whether or not you truly believe in it. Jupiter in Pisces is going to reinvigorate your belief in magic. It's going to reinvigorate your belief in yourself and your magical abilities and how you can come into this world and you can create some really freaking awesome shit. On the real. I do think it's interesting how a lot of these things had been put underground. Witches, werewolves, vampires, elves, fairies, tailed beasts like kitsunes, which are tailed fox beings, dragons, because I already said elves, cyborgs, all of these things exist, zombies, all of these things exist. It's just that they've been kept under wraps with the Age of Pisces. Age of Aquarius is about to bring all this stuff out. The last time that we really experienced all of these things out in the open, I would say it was probably the age of Gemini. I would say that the age of Taurus probably began to start to put some of these things under wraps. But I think it was like the age of Gemini was the last time that we really saw a lot of these creatures and beings out in full and in the open. And then somehow they got locked away behind different caution tapes and stuff like that. So, some of you guys, like I said, you really identify with these. Like, for example, I really identify with dragon-like energy, right? Now, you'll probably hear a lot of people saying, like, oh, dragons don't exist, or this whole thing how dragons are spaceships and shit. Like, there's so much misinformation out here, and the very fact remains is that a lot of you, like I said in a previous video, have your seat of consciousness that comes from ages that have not been written about yet, or that information was destroyed, probably in the Library of Alexandria in Egypt. A lot of information was destroyed. Most of the information that we have comes from the Age of Taurus and then since then. So the Age of Aries, and of course now we're in the Age of Pisces. We don't have a lot of written information from the previous ages, and a lot of you have your consciousness from those ages, and that magic is real because you've been there and you've experienced it and you lived it, and your spirit is still there in many ways. So, don't allow people that do not believe in magic to really knock you off your game, okay? Don't allow that to happen. A lot of you are Timmy Turner running around here, and you have fairy godparents or spirit guides that are really asking you to, wish for whatever you want. Now, there are some rules to this. Just like in the Fairly Odd Parents, there are some rules, and their wand's gonna go limp, like a limp noodle or something else I'm thinking about. But really, honestly, the world is your oyster. And this is not just some sort of you only have 3 wishes type shit. You have far more than 3 wishes. So that's actually kind of a good thing to think about. Write down 4 wishes that you have today and watch this thing manifest and come into your life. Y'all take care, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.